watching a live webcast for our 28th Starlink mission and our 15th mission of this year. If you've been following Starlink development, then you know that Starlink is a
Oh, here we go. Are you serious?
15th mission of this year. If you've been following Starlink development, then you know that Starlink is is launching a synthetic aperture radar, or SAR, satellite into low Earth orbit to join its growing constellation of 24/7 all-weather Earth observation satellites. Capella's automated systems collect very high resolution.
All right, let's get out of that one. And we'll go to this one. Hang on. Well, I guess I'm on YouTube Live. Come on. No.
On St. Vincent. Once fully commissioned, each additional satellite provides Capella's
We'll find out if it'll go. It's really, really windy.
With more capacity and increasingly timely SAR data. SpaceX offers multiple launch opportunities each month for small satellites to ride to space on existing low Earth orbit missions, and we're excited to have both Capella Space and Tieback along for the ride tonight. We're currently approaching the T-minus 10-minute mark from liftoff, so with that, let's take a closer look at the rocket on your screen.
I'm Ian McCullough, a sourcing manager here at SpaceX. You're looking at a live view of Falcon 9. Our two-stage launch vehicle stands about 70 meters tall, and when it is fully fueled, it'll hold just over 1 million pounds of propellant that the vehicle will burn through in less than 3 minutes after liftoff. The bottom two-thirds of the vehicle is the first stage. Tonight will be its 8th flight and 4th flight of the year so far. The stage's maiden flight was the Crew Demo 2 about a year ago. Since then, it supported the Anasis 2 mission, CRS-21, Transporter 1, and 3 other Starlink missions. Its objective is to accelerate the vehicle through the Earth's atmosphere to space and then separate from the rest of the rocket. Once the first stage separates from the second stage, it will make its way back to Earth and target a landing on our drone ship, Of Course I Still Love You. To give some perspective, our drone ships are the equivalent of the size of a football field, and the landing area is approximately 200 feet by 150 feet. That's big enough that a hockey rink could fit inside of it. If successful, it will mark our 84th recovery of an orbital-class rocket. Above the first stage is the second stage, which has a single Merlin vacuum or MVAC engine that ignites after the first stage separates. At full power, the Merlin vacuum engine operates with the greatest efficiency for an American-made hydrocarbon rocket engine. The second stage is what will carry our Starlink satellites to orbit. At the top of the rocket, you'll also notice a large nose cone. This is called the fairing. The fairing houses the Starlink satellites and protects them until the vehicle is outside of the Earth's atmosphere, at which point the fairing separates to expose the satellites to space. Today, we will be using a flight-proven fairing, and this will be the second flight for each fairing. And we'll be attempting to recover each from the water today with our recovery vessel, Sheila Bordelon. Lastly, the large truss structure you see there is the Transporter Erector, or TE. We use it to roll the rocket out to the pad and raise it to its vertical launch position. The TE also routes the vehicle's fluids, power, and telemetry umbilicals from the ground systems to the rocket and satellites until F9 goes on internal power and clears the pad. At liftoff, it will retract in order to clear the way for Falcon 9's ascent. At T-minus 8 minutes, let's take a look at how we're progressing in the countdown.
The chief engineer held a technical poll at T-minus 1 hour, and the launch director held a propellant load and launch go-no-go poll at T-minus 38 minutes. Falcon 9 has been loading propellants since T-minus 35 minutes. Our fuel is a refined form of kerosene known as Rocket Propellant 1, or RP1. Our oxidizer is a super-chilled liquid called LOX. We chill it well below the boiling point, which densifies the LOX so we can load more of it into Falcon 9. We've also begun helium loading. The vehicle uses helium gas as a pressurant in the fuel and LOX tanks. As the Merlin engine pumps pool RP1 and LOX out of the tanks, we fill that empty volume, known as the ullage, with helium that's heated up by the engines. Heating the helium helps expand it to fill the propellant tanks. And to make sure that startup goes well, we also perform what's called engine chill. Right about now, at T-minus 7 minutes, we're flowing a small amount of that super chilled liquid oxygen into the 9 Merlin engine turbopumps. We do this to avoid any thermal shock to the system when the full flow of super chilled LOX hits the prop system. The vehicle is healthy and we're currently tracking no issues. The range is green to support. And as for weather, beautiful shot there of our launch site. It's a gorgeous day in Florida. We were predicted 70% favorable conditions for launch. Main concerns being liftoff winds and cumulus clouds around the launch site, as well as recovery zone winds. But everything is looking in bounds for now. So all systems continue to be go for a liftoff at 6:56 p.m. Eastern Time. If for some reason we don't get to launch today, we have a backup opportunity tomorrow at 6:34 p.m. Eastern.
Today, more than 18 million Americans live in areas without access to high-speed internet. For many communities that historically have had poor or non-existent connections to internet, the impacts of the current pandemic made day-to-day life even more challenging. One such community that has been underserved are the residents of Eau Claire, Wisconsin. This week, the city announced that it's participating in our beta program by offering 50 rural homes and businesses StarLink connectivity. These users will now be able to access high-speed internet for work-related purposes, accessing healthcare remotely, and receiving an online education. Currently, our StarLink beta service is available in the United States, Canada, the United Kingdom, Western Germany, the South Island in New Zealand, Austria, and France. And as of this week, we are excited to announce that we are now serving parts of the Netherlands. As we continue to grow our StarLink beta program and customer base, we are also building and expanding our infrastructure.
Be careful of that thing, it'll fall down.
Earlier this
Roll
week,
the window
we announced
up,
that SpaceX will be locating our StarLink ground stations within Google Cloud data center properties in order to deliver secure and high-speed internet connectivity for our users.
It's going to be windy, everyone, and I have no headphones.
Data centers will significantly improve latency as data can go from the user terminal to the server without touching the internet. To learn more about StarLink or to find out if service is available in your area, head on over to starlink.com.
We're currently at T-minus 4 minutes and 40 seconds from liftoff, and Falcon 9
it's
is
windy.
now moving into the final stages of
it's
the
very
countdown.
windy.
The next visual milestone
we have white
caps
caps.
Of the transporter erector.
When we have white caps,
that's the
it's
white
windy.
painted structure that you see there next to the vehicle. As
it's
the name
in the basket,
that's
Nicole,
we use to
usually.
Transport the vehicle from the hangar to the pad and raise it to its vertical
Here.
launch position.
Go ahead.
First, we'll see the
They're probably at the
clamps
bottom of
open.
it.
That should be coming up in just a few seconds.
And
then the TE will begin to retract away from the rocket slightly. At T0, the hydraulics pull the TE further away from Falcon 9 as it lifts off. And if you look closely, you can see those clamps beginning to open now. The TE provides liquids, gases, electrical connections to the second stage, as well as air conditioning to the payload fairing. The first and second stages are both nearly fully loaded with 1 million pounds of kerosene fuel and liquid oxygen. The super chilled liquid oxygen is
be a million there. You got your numbers.
And is the
Powerball ticket.
Clouds that we can start to see
Woo!
Falcon 9.
Damn!
Humid Florida air comes into contact with the cold liquid oxygen. The oxygen heats up and then turns into the white gas clouds that we can start to see. The first stage will be finishing prop loading here in about 15 seconds at T-minus 3 minutes, and the second stage wraps up its prop load at T-minus 2 minutes. At T-minus 60 seconds, we'll hear the call out that
it's right there,
is in startup.
To the right of the White Tower.
Its autonomous internal flight computers have taken over the launch countdown. Then, just inside T-minus 2 seconds, we light the Merlin.
Yes, it's on 39A.
We use T-TEB as our ignition fluid. When it mixes with oxygen, it burns a bright green colored flame, so be sure to watch out for that. We then allow the fuel.
It's right there. See this one right here?
All right, and then we hear the call out that stage 1 LOX load is complete. Stage 2 continues to load its LOX. As I was saying, after we use T-TEB to ignite the Merlin engines, we then allow full flow of the fuel into the thrust chambers.
And get closer. I'm not getting closer.
At T0.
I'm not crossing this road. You see all the people? I'm good right where I am.
The F9 team is tracking no issues on the rocket.
I did have an invite, but never got the email. So I don't know what time. I didn't know what time to meet the SpaceX person.
And are green for launch just 2 minutes from now.
2 minutes. It's venting right there.
There's 2 people on that green thing.
On the green thing.
They look like they're struggling over there.
Yeah, they are struggling.
Alright, there we heard the call out that stage 2
Oh, I
launch
see the
is
thing.
complete. This means that Falcon 9 is now fully loaded with
Yeah,
propellants
it's on the right
both
side of the
stages.
tower. Yeah, it's very
If you look
windy.
at the shadow of the rocket there on the pad, we can see some the shadow of the white clouds that are forming around the pad. Like I mentioned
Very
before,
quickly.
that's just
Here,
the
you want to
liquid
hold this?
oxygen vaporizing with the ambient air. Now the LOX load is complete.
But it's good. Ow, 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 ow. Hang on, everyone. But that's behind. There's always a delay on that. Hey, Harry.
53 seconds.
Alright, there we heard the call out that flight computers are in startup. This means that the autonomous flight computer has taken over
Hey,
the launch
Debbie.
countdown. And at this point, both first and second stage are beginning to pressurize for launch. Right there, we heard our launch director give the final 30 seconds. There we heard the launch director give the final go for launch. And at this point in time, all systems are go. Let's listen in to the terminal count.
Here we go.
Falcon 9 takes its steps,
I told you it's behind.
and 2 ride shares into space.
I lost it behind the cloud. There it is.
They can only see it on here.
All right, everyone. My arms are killing me.
Is it coming back down?
No, well, there's one coming down.
Oh, I see it burning. I see something burning.
Oh, that's the rocket. Because yeah, but you shouldn't have been able to see that. Woohoo! Oh, you're welcome. Thank you, Juicy. Thank you, Tina. Now the police officer. And it's busy, y'all. You see? The roads are packed like this all the way to the other end of Titusville for miles. For miles. Thank you, Brett. Appreciate it.
Where's it gonna land at?
Off the coast of South Carolina.
Rotates in the background.
Oh, it's coming back to Earth now, everyone.
Side, we got first
Here,
stage
you can
deploying
hold
the
it.
grid fins in preparation for the drone ship
Oh,
landing.
you can't see it only at night, honey. It's
Just a
350
few
miles
seconds,
from
we're
here.
going to have fairing deploy.
There you go.
Love that view of it back.
Oh, you're welcome.
First view inside the payload fairing. There we have.
We're going to get confirmation.
Call out there that fairing separation has occurred. As a reminder.
Look at this shit. People just back out into the middle of a... This is why there's accidents here during this time. Used to be a restaurant, closed a long time ago. Yep. He's stopping them from backing out on the road. Did we land yet? See if we land. Recovery weather was supposed to have been iffy too. That was the one that they were really concerned about, was the recovery. Yeah, I'm watching.
This is a single engine burn that brings the vehicle speed down rapidly in order to land on the drone ship.
That guy's blind.
We do this
See how
at
he
the
has
last
a
minute to conserve as much fuel as
walking
possible.
cane.
He's probably partially blind. He's looking around. Oh,
If you're just catching up with us, we had a successful launch of Falcon 9 from Kennedy Space Center's Pad 39A. On the right side of your screen, you're looking at a live view of Falcon 9 Stage 2
yeah,
as it delivers our Starlink and rideshare payloads to orbit.
I have it.
On the left, Stage 1 is cruising back to our drone ship, Of Course I Still Love You, in the Atlantic Ocean. Our Starlink satellites are in LEO, or low Earth orbit, at around 550 kilometers. Most satellites are around 36,000 kilometers in altitude, at GEO, or geostationary orbit. When the satellites are further from Earth, the round-trip data time between the user and the satellite, also known as latency, is much higher, resulting in poor performance for activities like video calls and online gaming. About a minute out here from entry burn. On the left-hand see the first stage as it cruises in. Falcon 9 is equipped with 4 hypersonic grid fins positioned near the top of the first stage.
Titanium.
The stage uses nothing but the grid fins for steering as it makes its return to Earth.
Most
They orient
expensive part on the
and
rocket.
guide the rocket during descent. Occasionally, you'll also see some white puffs. These are nitrogen gas bursts for attitude adjustment and control. Now we're about 20 seconds out from entry burn. As a reminder, this is a 3-engine burn that is meant to slow the first stage as it hits the thicker parts of the Earth's atmosphere.
Is that your phone?
Stage 1 FTS is saved. Stage 1 entry burn is started.
Burn, baby, burn.
And stage 1 entry burn shut down. And we just had a confirmation of stage 1 entry burn cutoff.
Look, there's land.
Now we're about 60 seconds away from landing, and at this point, the vehicle's traveling around 900 miles per hour. This really puts the deceleration into perspective. In the span of less than a minute, we will have slowed from twice the speed of a jet all the way down to 0 as the rocket lands. There are a couple of events scheduled to happen in close proximity here. Stage 1 landing burn will begin and will finish its burn in about 25 seconds. And then stage two up in space will stop firing about 15 seconds later, at which point we'll enter the first coast period. So prepare for that in about 45 seconds.
Hello, son.
Stage 1 is transonic. Got a great view of both the first stage re-entering into the Atlantic and stage 2 as it continues on a nominal orbit. Stage 1 landing burn has started.
Where's the boat? It looks like it's gonna miss
As a reminder, we may lose coverage of the vehicle as it attempts to land on the drone ship.
There it is. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. Ooh, it's coming. It's coming in hot. No, no, no. Slow down. Slow down.
Landing legs have deployed.
Yes.
Landing
Yes.
deployed.
Yes.
It's
Whoop,
landing.
whoop, 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 whoop.
Stage 2 of TSS.
Dang, right in the middle too.
Yes.
Beautiful view of a successful landing. This marks our 84th successful recovery of an orbital class rocket and the 6th recovery of this particular booster.
Yes. Bob. And, oh my God, I can't think of his name.
Pico.
Crew 1 flew on
That's
this.
all the way up there.
Our demo flew on this. Bob Bacon and, I can't think of his other name.
Waiting for confirmation of good orbit. Nominal orbit insertion. And there, the team confirmed good orbit.
Good orbit.
Now, stage 2 is going to coast in this orbit for the next 45 minutes or so. While that happens, take a look at this animation showcasing where we are in the coast phase. We'll see you back here at T plus 54 minutes for a second stage relight and the deployment of our 2.
All right, everyone. I am out of here. I got to go and pick up keys for the store tomorrow because Jesse's got to open the store in the morning. So I need to go grab them. And I guess that's really about it. So Nicole just got off work and I dragged her out of the house. So I don't know how you could stain your hair like that.
Like that.
Just tied up so tight. You don't get a headache?
Mm-hmm.
You do the cheerleader thing?
Oh, it's a bun. I can't help it. It's getting too long. I can't even put in a bun no more.
All right, everyone. Have a great day. I'll see everyone later on when Jesse gets off.